Hey, it's Victoria from Mass's Strawberries, and I'm making necklaces by hand today. I've got 4 made so far, and I'm going to finish this last one, which is an arrowhead. So I'll have 2 arrowhead ones. And check out this tomahawk. Hoping to get that one done today too. But I have to get ready to head out. But as I was sitting here listening to the news and making these necklaces by hand, it made me think of a book recommendation for you all, especially if you kind of have an inkling that the trajectory of this country isn't going to go so well. If you've done your homework and you don't live in Disney World. You might want to get your tomahawks ready after you hear this story.
Israel and Iran despite escalating airstrikes, but Israel's prime minister not as confident. In an ABC News exclusive, Jonathan Karl spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu, accusing Iran of holding fake talks.
They're working secretly to rapidly weaponize this. In a few months, they would have nuclear bombs. That's what they want to do. They want to continue stringing the U.S. along, build up those weapons. They don't want a seat at the table. They want to blow up the table. Specifically, they want to blow up Israel.
The Pentagon now moving more Navy resources to the Middle East, and the State Department has issued a no-travel warning for all of Israel. In Minnesota, Vance Belter is facing state and federal charges for the shooting deaths of a state lawmaker and her husband, along with injuring another state lawmaker and his wife. Authorities say the shooter had a long target list of lawmakers. And on Wall Street today, stocks sending up. This is ABC News.
Happy Monday. It's Victoria from Mass's Strawberries. I've been making some jewelry today and listening to the hourly reports on the news, and I couldn't help but thinking about a 4-part series book by James Howard Kuenstler. It's endorsed by Alan Chuse of NPR's All Things Considered. And if you ask me, a lot of these people are fed information through certain propaganda agencies to give us a heads up about what could be coming. And you know, as I listen to what's unfolding, I can't help but think of this book. So let's read the back with its description. Of course, this is a fictional tale, but you know, they love to put truth with the fiction. The electricity has flickered out. The automobile age is over. In Union Grove, a little town in upstate New York, life is hard and close to the bone. James Howard Kuenstler, celebrated social critic and author of the best-selling The Long Emergency, takes an imaginative leap into the future with World Made by Hand. This is the story of Robert Earl and his fellow townspeople, and what happens to them one summer in a country that had changed profoundly. A powerful tale of love, loss, violence, and desperation. World Made by Hand is also lyrical and tender, a surprising story of a new America struggling to be born. Struggling to be born. Or decimated. He meets a man named Brother Job on the side of the road, and he wants to know if there's any news from the rest of the country, because basically Edgar Casey's prediction had come true, and besides civil unrest, I think there was natural issues going on with our country being divided. Natural meaning natural disaster. He says, the last real news we had was when the bomb went off in Los Angeles. California got dealt a bad hand, all right, Brother Job said. But things are rough from sea to shining sea. It's no fun in Phoenix or Albuquerque either, so I've heard. From Texas clear to Florida, there's folks shooting each other and trouble between the races and all like that. Seems like the law is on the run everywhere. We were on our way up out of Virginia when the other bomb hit Washington, D.C. Pennsylvania wasn't no picnic after that, I can tell you. We tried it for more than 2 years, but it wasn't any go for us there. We pulled out the end of April. Lauren said, I'd like to hear what you've observed in your travels sometime. He says, hardship, and not a whole lot of brotherhood. This is a friendly place, Robert said, but it would have been nice if the powers that be had consulted us about selling the school. We weren't informed. Let's move along here, because there's some other wonderful excerpts about things that had happened. I highly recommend these books. It's a 4-part series, but it seems like we're seeing things like this unfold. We apparently had a president now named Harvey Albright, but I would be damned if I knew how he got elected because they didn't hold it here. This was well after the short, unhappy reign of General Fellows, who removed President Sharp from office on account of the fiasco in the Holy Land. It might have been instrumental in his death. Fellows himself was taken down by the more constitutionally minded generals, and Vice President Beebe was installed to finish Ted Sharp's term with the army looking over his shoulder. The various shifting factions worked hard at managing the news, even as the TV, newspapers, and internet were failing in one way or another from irregular electrical service. The bomb in Washington put an end to that revolving cast of political characters. We heard rumors that a federal government had been reorganized in Nashville, and then Chicago, under Speaker of the House Rhodes, who was out of town when Washington was bombed. By that time, we weren't getting any oil from the Middle East or Venezuela, and even the mail stopped. The last election evidently happened around the time of the flu, when every community was shuttered up in desperate quarantine. At least here in the upper Hudson River Valley, it seemed to me that the federal government was little more than a figment of the collective memory. Everything was local now. We like to think the worst disorders were behind us, that we came out on the other side of something. But the truth was, we didn't know what the truth was anymore. We'll skip ahead here. There was another page I wanted to read. This is a very good book. Anyway, I think I'll end with that. Go get this book, World Made by Hand, by James Howard Kuenstler. I'm sure he was privy, like Orwell, Huxley, to things to come. And honestly, this is a much better portrayal, because certainly it's a little more green dystopian than Orwell's 1984 dystopian. So we'll hope that Kuenstler was in the big club of Rome. And make sure that you study this so you can figure out how to make it if you want to. Because I'm hearing some crazy stuff on the news. Have a great day. World made by hand, and I've got new necklaces made by hand too. So, peace be with you all. Buckle up. I don't think things are going to get any easier.